friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. In today's video, we are completing my budget videos for the week. The final step in my budgeting process is stuffing my cash envelopes and my sinking funds. So if you missed my other budget videos this week, I filmed a budget for my son and I talked a little bit about what I'm teaching my children about personal finance and money and how I'm going about that. So you'll want to check out that video. And then of course I filmed my budget results from my previous week's budget. Then I filmed my budget for the second week in July, which you can get a little peek here. I talked a little bit about our plans for the child tax credit advance in that video, and I gave you an overview on what I was planning to do with my money this week, and we talked a little bit about bulking up my sinking funds and paying some extra to debt and that sort of thing. So all of those videos are here on my channel if you are interested in those. Please take a minute, if you haven't done so already, and click the subscribe button because I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I'd love to have you join my family here and, you know, be able to get notified every time I post a video by clicking that bell button. So that's my little spiel. Now we're going to get into today's video. As I mentioned, it is going to be a cash stuffing video. This is my favorite video of the week to film. So let's just get started because sometimes these get a little bit long. So I have in front of me here my cash envelope breakdown from the Budget Mom. This is what I'm going to use today to figure out how much cash I need to pull out of the bank and in what denominations. So the way that I do this is I take a look at the budget that I wrote for the week and I figure out what I'm going to pull out in cash. If you're familiar with the way that I do my budget, you know that we do a lot of our weekly budgeting, spending in cash. So we're going to pull cash for this cash envelope section here, as well as for my sinking funds. So quite a bit of cash we're going to be working with today. So let's just get started. So I'm going to start by writing those categories in here in this category section. So we'll start with the cash envelopes, which are food. My husband's spending money typically, but actually I've already given him his spending money for the week. So we're not going to write that down, but we are going to write my spending money, my son Austin's allowance. We're also going to do miscellaneous. I like to keep a little bit of miscellaneous cash in my wallet just for anything that comes up. And then we're going to write in our sinking fund amounts here. So we have camping, our car sinking fund. We're going to be adding to celebrations, which is a sinking fund for all of our various holidays and things that we celebrate throughout the year. So birthdays, anniversaries, that sort of thing. We have my clothing sinking fund that we're going to add some money to. My home sinking fund, which is for various home projects, home maintenance, things like property taxes, that sort of thing, anything that falls under that umbrella. We have medical, so this will be for any sort of medical bills that come in or medical supplies, that sort of thing. We have pets, which is pretty obvious, I think. We have 2 cats, so that's cat litter, cat food, vet visits, that sort of thing. We have school, saving for back to school time, and any other school expenses. We have spending, and lastly, we have subscriptions. And I decided that we were really going to bulk up these sinking funds today, so we're going to be pulling quite a bit of money from the bank. The first thing, though, is food, and I budgeted $300 for food, but we're not going to be pulling all of that out in cash. I actually have already done some shopping using my debit card, so I need to do a quick little bit of math to figure out how much we're going to pull out in cash. So I have my calculator here, and it's pretty dark, so give me just a second to lighten that baby up. And I'm going to flip to my calendar page so that I can see what I have already spent. I like to track my transactions on a calendar here using a color coding system. So we're looking at this week here, the 13th through the 19th, and you can see I've already spent quite a bit on food. So we have spent so far, these yellow stickers are food stickers, by the way, $75.39 plus $89.18. That was for my grocery shopping at the start of the week. That was the other video that got posted earlier this week. It was a grocery haul, so if you'd like to see what I was able to pick up with that $164.57 that we've spent so far on groceries, you can check that video out. And then we also went out for breakfast as a family on Tuesday, and that was $34.59. So we have spent a total of $199.16 of our $300 budget. So that means we're going to pull out, you know, just $100 in cash. I'll round that up. We've already spent $200, so we have $100 left, and that's what I'm going to pull out in cash to get us through the rest of the week. So $100 in food. For my spending money, I budgeted $40, so that's what we're going to pull out for that. Austin's allowance is $20. Miscellaneous is $20. For our sinking funds, starting out with camping, I'm going to add $100 to our camping fund. Our car fund is going to get $25. We're adding $150 to celebrations. We have a graduation party coming up that we're going to need to buy a gift for, and just adding money to our general celebrations fund, specifically thinking about Christmas coming up at the end of the year. I know there's some other holidays and stuff in between, but Christmas is the big one that's under celebrations. And actually, I think at the end of July, when I set my sinking funds up for August, I'm going to pull the money back out of celebrations and have Christmas be separate. You guys talked me into that, so I did a big sinking funds revamp at the start of July where I kind of lumped all of our celebrations together, including Christmas. And a lot of you said, well, the celebrations is a good idea, keeping like the various holidays and anniversary and birthdays all together. Since Christmas is such a large expense, you recommended separating it back out and having Christmas be its own fund. So I will be doing that at the start of August. For clothing, we're adding $100, trying to bulk this up a little bit. My husband needs some new shoes, and we're going to be doing back to school shopping soon. I would get the back to school clothing out of the clothing sinking fund. The school expenses are more for like school supplies and school activities and that sort of thing. Excuse me. Home is going to get $100. Our medical fund is going to get $25. Pets is also going to get $25, as is school. Our spending is going to get $75. And lastly is subscriptions, and that's going to get $25. So quickly, I'm going to add this total up so I can figure out exactly how much I need to pull from the bank. So 100 plus 40 plus 20 plus 20 plus 100 plus 25 plus 150 plus 100 plus 100 plus 25, 25, 25, and 75, and 25 for a grand total of $830 coming out of the bank this week. Now let's figure out in what denominations we're going to pull this $830. So starting out with food, we're going to do my food budget in 20s, so we're going to do 5 20s for that. My spending, we're also going to do 20s, 2 20s there. There's a 20 for Austin and a 20 for miscellaneous. For camping, we're just going to do a $100 bill. Our car is going to get 25, so that's going to be a 20 and a 5. Celebrations is going to get $150, so we will do a $100 bill and a $50 bill there. For clothing, we're going to do a $100 bill. Home is also going to be a $100 bill. Medical is $25, so we'll do a $20 and a $5. A $20 and a $5 for pets, and a $20 and a $5 for school. Spending is going to get $75, so that'll be a $50, a $20, and a $5. And subscriptions is going to be $25, so that'll be a $20 and a $5 there. So we're not going to do any ones this week. For fives, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fives for a total of $30. No 10s this time. For 20s, we got a whole lot of 20s. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 20s for a total of $300. 2 50s, it's a total of $100. And 1, 2, 3, 4 $100 bills for a total of $400. So we're just going to add up this total now and make sure that this total matches this total. That's how we know we didn't make any mistakes. And you guys know I am the queen of mistakes. So hold your breath and let's see how we did. Yep, $830. So that's what I'm going to pull from the bank. I'm going to go get everything that I need. And we're going to come back and stuff my cash envelopes and my sinking funds. So, BRB. Okay, so I am all set up here and ready to stuff my cash envelopes, which I have here in my Conscious wallet. I absolutely love this wallet. I have a whole separate video on it. The company was so kind as to have sent me this wallet for review. Been using it for a really long time now, and I love it. The only thing I'm not loving about it recently is just how big it is. I have so many cute little crossbody bags that I cannot wear right now because my wallet doesn't fit in there. So I'm thinking about looking at something a little bit smaller, maybe. I still really, really love this wallet. It's just hard to fit into my little bags, but I love how I can fit all of my cash envelopes in here on these little rings, and there's plenty of space for all of my cards and everything. So I don't know, I'm kind of hemming and hawing about whether or not I want to look for something new, but I do love this wallet. I have my little tiny pocket rainbow document file here where I keep all of my sinking funds, so we're going to have that kind of waiting in the wings. And then, of course, I have my cash. So I needed $830, so what we're going to do quickly here is count this up, make sure that's what I have. I'm just going to kind of flip it over here. So we have 100, 200, 300, 400, 450, 500, 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 20, 40, 60, 80, 700, 20, 40, 60, 80, 800, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so we do have $830, which is good news. That means that I didn't mess up my math and the bank teller didn't mess up either. We're going to go ahead and shift some things around here a little bit, and I'm going to set up my cash here along the side, counting it as I go to make sure that I have the proper denominations, because I know I have the right amount of money, but if they're not in the proper denominations, they're not going to work out all nice and even in my envelopes like I want. So 4 100s is what we're supposed to have, and we do, so that's good. Go ahead and lay this across the top here. See if I can do a little bit of arranging here. Good. Okay. 2 50s, and I only have one, but I definitely had 2. There it is. Just trying to hang out with the hundreds. There we go. I knew I had 2 50s because I remembered counting them. Okay, and then 15 20s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I had really no doubts that this was all going to be correct. I just always like to double and triple check because you guys know I like to make mistakes, and the more often I check myself, the less often I have to worry about mistakes. Let's just zoom it out a touch so everything will fit in the frame. And lastly, we have 6 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we're going to start out here at the top with my cash envelopes. So I'm going to pull in my Conscious wallet here. I'm also going to grab a little pen to kind of check things off as I go. I usually use a highlighter. Oh, I do have a highlighter right here. So, changed my mind. We're going to use a highlighter. So we're going to do $100 in food. What am I trying to do here? And that's going to go right here in my food envelope. And we decided we were going to do that in 20s. So 20, 40, 60, 80, $100. And that will get us through the rest of the week for any grocery items we need to buy, or if we decide to order a pizza, or, you know, if we need to buy toilet paper or whatever. All of that falls under this food category. We're not eating toilet paper, you guys, but I like to pick up any household items I need while I'm grocery shopping. Typically, that's why that kind of falls under this food umbrella. For a while there, I was taking money out of a sinking fund to cover those things, but it just gets too complicated moving money around all the time. I try to make it as simple as possible. While I'm at Walmart picking up groceries, I grab any household items I need and pull it out of the same envelope. Next up is my spending money, and that's going to be $40, so we'll mark that off. And I am like the world's worst highlighter. I cannot highlight in a straight line to save my life. We're going to do 2 20s for my spending. I'm allowed to spend the spending money on anything I want. This has really helped me stick to my budget for as long as I have. I mean, there's been some hiccups here and there with my budget, but having spending money every week, allowing myself to shop a little bit every week really helps keep my spending impulses under control. So that's that. Lawn care, I'm actually going to take right out of here because we are not doing lawn care in my wallet anymore. We are doing lawn care in that home sinking fund I mentioned, so we're going to skip that. The next thing on my list is actually my son's allowance. I'm just going to take his 20 and set it off to the side so I have it to give to him. That doesn't necessarily go into its own specific envelope. I'm actually just going to stick it right here in my wallet so that I have it for him. I do have a kid's envelope that I could stick in here and use for that, but it's silly to stick it in an envelope just to turn around an hour from now and hand it to him, right? So, yeah. Okay. So we took care of Austin. Let's see if I can highlight this sort of straight. Nope, not at all. Miscellaneous is going to get $20 as well. So that's going to go right into my miscellaneous envelope. And this is just like an emergency 20 I keep in my wallet. There's always something that comes up that I did not account for. This $20 has saved my butt on more than one occasion and kept me under budget. So there's that. The only other envelope that is in my wallet is my bank envelope. So throughout the week, if I can't use cash for one of these cash categories, I'll swipe my debit card or a credit card and I'll just move the cash equivalent into this bank envelope so that I know I need to deposit that to cover that expense. So that's it for my Conscious wallet. This is going to go back into my handbag. We're going to go ahead and mark off miscellaneous here. And I'm going to pull in my sinking funds. So I used to use a great big accordion file to keep everything in place. I had, you know, like 20 categories and I was making everything super, super complicated. At the start of July, I did a big overhaul, downsized my little accordion folder, though it's getting pretty fat. So I definitely need to be exchanging bills soon so that it's not quite so chunky, but I simplified. I'm really loving my new system, and I couldn't be happier with the way it all works out. So the first of the funds that we're going to add money to is camping. So that is right here in the front. In my little accordion file behind each tab, I have one of my sinking funds. I have the cash for that fund, as well as an index card where I keep track of the comings and goings. Every time I add money, I write it down. If I take money out, I write that down as well. So our camping fund currently has $872. Today is the 14th, I believe. We are making a deposit of $100. So that is going to bring this up to $972. And our goal for this camping fund is about $1,400, and we need to have that amount by October, I believe. So we are doing good. So I'm going to add $100. And every time I add money to a fund, I count it up to make sure that the number on the card matches the amount of cash in the fund. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 550, 600, 650, 700, 750, 800, 850, 900, 950, 970, 971, 972. So that is all good. That takes care of camping. So that's going to go back behind the camping tab. And the next fund is our car fund. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Mark off camping. And our car fund is getting $25 today. So it has $592 currently. We are going to deposit $25. I'm going to use my calculator because you guys know I'm terrible at mental math. Might make it harder than it has to be by pretending I'm not. So $592 plus 25 is $617. So that is the number we are looking for. We're going to add a 20 and a 5. I'm going to just slip those denominations in. And we're going to count it up. 150, 250, 350, 450, 550, 70, 90, 600, 605, 610, 615, 616, 617. Alrighty. That takes care of car. Next up is celebrations. And we are adding $150 to celebrations. Okay, so that's going to be what, $790, I think? So we're going to add a 100 and a 50. Okie dokie. So 100, 200, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500, 550, 600, 650, 700, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90. So I really want to bulk this up some. When I separate it back out for Christmas, I will likely take all of this and make this Christmas, and then start saving for celebrations in August, like the other various things we have coming up, because I want to have a really good chunk of money for Christmas this year, and I feel like I'm a little bit behind. So I don't want to take anything away from Christmas if I can, and that's kind of why you guys recommended that I keep Christmas separate, I think, because you know, if I had $800 in here and I wanted to celebrate a birthday or something, I might see that I have $800 there and think that I can spend more than I really should, because I could easily lose sight of my Christmas goals. So that's why so many of you recommended that I keep Christmas separate, and you guys were totally right. So that's definitely a change I'm going to make, but not until I write up my sinking funds for August. I don't want to mess up my July worksheets. So celebrations is taken care of. Next up is clothing, which currently has just $10 in it, but we're going to bulk that up and add $100. Like I said, my husband needs some new shoes, so that is the #1 priority with this money. So likely we'll be dipping into this really quickly here to buy my husband some sneakers. I added $100, and there was 10 in there already, so that's going to bring this up to 110. Excuse me, I've got a little frog in my throat. So $100 bill. That is all set. So next we can pull in my home sinking funds. Okay. For home, we have $90 in there currently. We are going to deposit why did I deposit? Oh, I remember. I added that $40 into my home sinking fund from my lawn care envelope. I was like, wait, why did I add money to my home fund? That's why. We're going to deposit $100. And that's going to bring it up to a total of $190. So we're just going to add a $100 bill, right? Yep, that's what we decided. Okay, and I just had my property tax bill come in, so I'm going to be pulling money out of this fund for that, but it was only like, I don't know, $15 or something. Okay, $190. 120, 40, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. So that's all set. It's going to go back here, and I'm going to pull out medical is next, and I need to highlight these categories. So clothing is done, home is done, medical is getting an additional $25 today. It has 20 in there currently. I have got a mess going on here. Alright, so on the 14th, we're going to deposit 25. And that's going to make this a total of $45 in my medical fund. So we'll add a 20 and a 5. 20, 40, 5. And next up is pets. All right. So pets has 10 and we're adding 25 today. Every time I get this bulked up, I end up draining it. So definitely want to make sure my kitties have everything that they need. Love my kitty cats. I have 2 cats, Jax and Sirius. $20, $25, $30, $35. It's real easy to count these little teeny tiny funds, isn't it? Speaking of little teeny tiny funds, next up is school, and we are adding $25 to school. It has 40 in it right now. So that'll bring it up to 65. We are currently saving for school supplies because back to school is right around the corner. And my son's going to need plenty of fresh notebooks and pencils and that sort of thing. Back to school time is my favorite. I love buying school supplies. I always look forward to it when I was in school. And it's just as much fun now with buying my son school supplies. I just love a fresh notebook. Okay, so 65 is what we're looking for here. 20, 40, 50, 60, $65. So, well on our way. Plenty of pens and notebooks and markers and colored pencils in our future. Cannot wait. Alright, next up is spending. So let's just mark off school so I know I got that set and situated. These, by the way, are, or this, I guess, is an erasable highlighter from the Friction brand, which I love. I love being able to erase my mistakes. I use erasable pens as well from Parkoo. Love, love, love. Okay, for spending. Okay, my fund has $128, and we are adding $75. I'm going to be pulling money out of this envelope to get my new video game that's being released this Friday. I'm so excited. In fact, this video is going up on Friday, so as you're watching this, I am probably playing my new game as you watch this. Alright, 128 plus 75 is 203. We're going to add a 50. That's my last 50, a 20, and a 5. $50, $100, $20, $40, $60, $80, $90, $95, $96, $97, $98, $99, $200, $201, $202, $203. Okey-dokey. So that takes care of spending. The very last sinking fund we are adding money to today is our subscriptions. I just went in and made so many changes to my subscriptions, which I'm so excited about. I bought a Netflix gift card for $50, so I paid up our Netflix for a little while. I think our next bill now is due in October. I went in and paid for Hulu annually, so that won't be due until next July now. And I went in and paid for Disney Plus annually. So that's amazing. I don't have to worry about any of those subscriptions for a little while. I'll of course be adding money continuously to the subscriptions sinking fund so that when those bills are due, I have that money available. But it's nice not to have to go in every single month and make sure it's paid and, you know, budget $10 for this and $7 for that into my budget. I'll still be paying for HBO Max monthly, though I need to look into paying that ahead. I don't know if that's an option. The other thing is my husband's Audible subscription, which he right now is signed up for 2 book credits a month, somewhere in the neighborhood of $25. I have recently talked him into going down to just 1 audiobook a month, and he's also, I think, gonna look into Overdrive and Scribd and lots of other places to be able to get his hands on some other audiobooks while he's between Audible credits. My husband drives a ton for work and he is an audiobook junkie. So if you have any recommendations for affordable audiobooks other than the ones that I mentioned, leave them in the comments section. That's super helpful. He does not like to read with his eyes. He doesn't have time to sit and read, but he listens all day long. I'm also going to try to get him into some podcasts or something, give him something else to listen to so we can save a few dollars on that. But I'm rambling, so let's go ahead and finish this up. We're going to deposit $25, and that's going to bring this up to $35. That's my last 20 and my last 5 here. 20, 25, 30, $35 in subscriptions. That means I'm all set and ready to pay for Audible when that is due next week, I believe. And that is going to do it for my cash envelope stuffing. I've stuffed all of my sinking funds. The only fund I didn't add money to was my YouTube sinking fund, and that is because I only add money to that YouTube sinking fund when I get paid from YouTube. So I'll be adding money to that next week when I get my YouTube paycheck. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, keeping me company while I stuffed my cash envelopes and my sinking funds. It was a whole lot of cash going into these funds this week. I'm really, really happy that I was able to bulk these up. Go ahead and check this off. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will consider clicking that like button. It really helps out my channel. You can subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a new video, which is every single weekday here on my channel. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, friends.